You dream of a scarab beetle. One taps your window at dawn. Your friends calls the second you think of her. A stranger's name feels like destiny. I'm learning the world. And today we're dissecting the 4 mathematical illusions that turn coincidence into prophecy, randomness into fate, and your pattern-seeking brain into a superstition engine worth billions. You're thinking of someone. Your phone rings. It's them. The hairs on your neck stand up. What are the odds? The universe is listening. Fate is real. You're connected by invisible threads. You're not. You're connected by math. And the numbers are about to ruin the magic. Here's a test. Put 23 people in a room. What are the odds? 2 of them share a birthday. Most people guess 1%, maybe 5. The real answer, 50%. 23 random people. Coin flip odds that 2 were born on the same day. Bump it to 70 people. 99.9% certainty. It feels impossible. Your brain screams coincidence. But it's just probability wearing a disguise. This is the birthday paradox. Not actually a paradox. Just math that violates human intuition. Your brain evolved to survive lions, not to calculate combinatorial explosions. So when 2 strangers at a dinner party discover they share August 14th, it feels cosmic. It's statistics. Now scale it up. 8 billion people on Earth. Events with 1 in a million odds? Those happen 8,000 times per day. Globally, every single day. You think your coincidence is special? It's not. It's scheduled. You think of a friend. They call 5 minutes later. Supernatural? Let's count. You think about 50 people per day. Fleeting thoughts. Their name, their face, a memory. Of those, 52 or 3 might call you on any given day for completely unrelated reasons. Work, boredom, a question. Sometimes the thought and the call overlap. You remember that one time. You forget the 9,999 times you thought of someone and they didn't call. Your brain isn't psychic. It's a highlight reel editor that deletes misses and replays hits. Take Joan Ginther. She won the Texas lottery 4 times between 1993 and 2010. Media called it a miracle. 1 in 18 septillion odds. Divine intervention. Except Ginther had a PhD in statistics from Stanford. She didn't pray for luck. She calculated which stores sold the most winning tickets when they restocked and bought strategically. Reporters found she'd spent over $3 million on tickets. Not a miracle, a math strategy with survivorship bias. You only hear about the winners who beat the odds, not the millions who spent fortunes and lost everything. Lottery winners always say the same thing. I knew I'd win. I saw signs. But when millions play, someone has to win. Probability demands it. The winner's brain reverse engineers meaning. They remember the dream, the lucky penny, the fortune cookie. They forget the 200 losing tickets they bought before. Pattern-seeking brains don't do randomness well. They do stories. You remember one impossible coincidence. The childhood photo in a thrift store 3,000 miles from home. The stranger on a plane who went to your high school. You don't remember the 10,000 days nothing remarkable happened. Your memory is a museum of outliers. The mundane gets thrown away. The strange gets framed and spotlighted. Coincidences aren't proof the universe is speaking. They're proof you're bad at math and excellent at storytelling. And that gap between probability and perception, that's where every superstition lives. If your mind is already cracking, smash that like button and subscribe. Because we're just getting started, and the next 3 chapters will dismantle everything else you thought was magic. Carl Jung gave mysticism a scientific-sounding name. He called it synchronicity. Meaningful coincidences with no causal link. Events connected by significance, not mechanics. He built an entire theory around it, and millions still believe him. Here's his famous example. A patient lies on his couch recounting a dream. In it, she's given a golden scarab beetle, ancient Egyptian symbol of rebirth. As she speaks, something taps the window. Jung opens it. A rose chafer beetle flies in, gold green, the closest species to a scarab in Switzerland. Jung freezes. The universe, he decides, is speaking. Synchronicity confirmed. He writes about it for decades. Except beetles fly toward light. Warmth, reflective surfaces, windows. Thousands of beetles hit thousands of windows every single day across Europe. Most people brush them off, sweep them outside, forget about them instantly. Jung remembered this one because his patient had just said the word scarab. Confirmation bias crystallized a mundane event into mystical proof. If she'd been talking about her mother, he would have opened the window, seen a beetle, and thought nothing of it. The beetle didn't care about the dream. The dream didn't summon the beetle. 2 unrelated events overlapped. Jung's pattern-seeking brain did the rest. This is apophenia, your brain's compulsion to see patterns in randomness, faces in clouds, the Virgin Mary in toast, 11:11 on the clock feeling significant. Your neural wiring evolved to detect predators in rustling grass. False positives kept you alive. False negatives got you eaten. So your brain errs toward seeing patterns even when none exist. Researchers showed participants random number sequences, no hidden structure, pure noise. The vast majority reported finding meaningful patterns, secret codes, messages. They were reading their own expectations into static. The numbers meant nothing. Their brains couldn't accept that. Apophenia escalates in certain conditions. Schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, dopamine dysregulation floods the pattern detection system. Patients see connections everywhere. The TV is sending personal messages. Strangers' conversations contain coded instructions. Government surveillance, divine communication. It's not mysticism. It's neurotransmitter malfunction. The pattern detector stuck in overdrive, finding signal in pure noise. Conspiracy theorists live here. QAnon, flat earth, chemtrails. They collect random events, unrelated data points, coincidental timings, and reverse engineer a system. A grand design. It feels like revelation, like pulling back the curtain. But they're connecting dots that were never meant to form a picture. Apophenia at scale. Jung's synchronicity dressed up as research. The universe isn't sending you signs. Your brain is just bad at accepting randomness. And when you call that meaning, you're not enlightened. You're experiencing a glitch older than language itself. Mathematician John Littlewood wanted to kill the word miracle. So he defined it. A miracle, he said, is an event with 1 in a million odds. Rare enough to feel impossible, common enough to calculate. Then he did the math on your life. You're awake roughly 8 hours a day. In that time, you perceive about 1 distinct event per second. A face, a sound, a thought, a sensation. 30,000 events per day. Seems like a lot. It's not. It's just Tuesday. Multiply that by 35 days. You hit 1 million events, which means, statistically, you are guaranteed to experience a 1 in a million occurrence every single month. Not because the universe loves you, because you're a biological data processing machine running a million trial experiment while you brush your teeth and scroll your phone. You should be experiencing impossible coincidences regularly. It's not magic, it's sample size. Vesna Vulović fell 33,000 feet from an exploding plane in 1972. No parachute. She survived. Guinness World Record. Media called it divine intervention, a miracle. Mathematicians called it statistics. Millions of flights, millions of passengers, decades of air travel. Someone eventually had to land in the extreme tail of the survival distribution. It was her. If it hadn't been, it would have been someone else, and we'd be telling their story instead. She's not the only sole survivor. Bahir Bakari, Julian Köpke, Annette Herfgens. Each walked away from catastrophic crashes that killed everyone else on board. The media calls them blessed. Probability calls them outliers in a sufficiently large dataset. When you run enough trials, the statistically improbable becomes statistically inevitable. Your brain wasn't built to understand large numbers. 1 million feels infinite, impossible, but it's just 35 days of being awake. 1 billion feels incomprehensible, but 8 billion people means 1 billion 1 in 8 events happen constantly. Your intuition collapses at scale. You mistake volume for meaning. Littlewood's law doesn't care about your sense of wonder. It just counts. And when you live long enough, process enough sensory data, exist alongside enough other humans doing the same, the miraculous becomes scheduled, predictable, mundane. You're not special because something unlikely happened to you. You're statistically on time. Nostradamus predicted September 11th, and Hitler, and COVID-19, and the Kennedy assassination, and the rise of Napoleon. At least that's what the internet will tell you. Except Nostradamus wrote in 16th century French, in cryptic 4-line verses called quatrains. Vague, poetic, loaded with metaphor. No dates, no names, no specifics. Just enough detail to mean nothing until something happens. Then suddenly, they mean everything. The great city will fall from fire in the sky. Sounds like 9/11, right? Also sounds like the Blitz, Hiroshima, Dresden, any bombing campaign in 500 years of warfare. It's not prophecy. It's a mad lib waiting for history to fill in the blanks. This is hindsight bias. After an event occurs, your brain retroactively edits your memories to make the outcome feel predictable, inevitable, obvious. You didn't see it coming. You just think you did. In the 1970s, psychologists Baruch Fischhoff and Ruth Bath ran an experiment. They told students about historical events before they happened, asked them to estimate the likelihood of various outcomes. Then, after the events concluded, they asked the same students what they'd originally predicted. The students consistently remembered being far more accurate than they actually were. Their brains had rewritten the past to align with the present. Memory isn't playback, it's reconstruction. And reconstruction is always biased toward what you now know to be true. You do this constantly. I knew that a relationship would end. No, you didn't. You're retrofitting doubt onto a memory that, at the time, felt hopeful. I had a bad feeling about that job. You had a bad feeling about everything. You only remember the one that matched reality. Psychics exploit this mercilessly. After every disaster, celebrity death, political upheaval, they flood social media. I warned you. I saw this coming. Check their archives. Hundreds of contradictory predictions, vague statements, hedged bets. The media picks the one that coincidentally aligned, ignores the 99 that didn't. Confirmation bias does the rest. Nostradamus made thousands of predictions. Most are gibberish. A handful, through sheer linguistic flexibility and historical volume, can be twisted to fit events centuries later. That's not foresight. That's probability meeting selective memory. You're not remembering prophecies. You're creating them. Backwards. 4 illusions of destiny. Coincidences are inevitable at scale. Synchronicity is apophenia. Miracles happen monthly on schedule. Prophecies are rewritten in hindsight. The universe isn't sending signs. It's rolling dice 8 billion times per second. And you only remember the rolls that confirm your illusions. If this shattered your belief in fate, hit like and subscribe, and drop a comment. Tell me which illusion hit hardest. Coincidences, synchronicity, miracles, or prophecy. Let's see which one broke the most brains.